Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of IMCO with myself, Jonathn Chan. I'm so glad that you can join me for lunch today as we talk about what topped the news this past week, or even the current week for that matter. And hopefully I can offer you my Christian opinion on it. Now, for some of you who may be joining us for the first time, and this is your first IMCO, and you may be wondering, okay, what does IMCO mean? IMCO is basically an acronym because Christians love acronyms, and it's in my Christian opinion. That's what IMCO means. And what we do, or what I do anyway, is to take a look at what topped the news locally, whether it be City News, CTV News, News 1130, or even what Bill Good talks about on his 1 minute. And then I offer you my opinion, my Christian opinion. It's a beautiful day out there. Hopefully you are enjoying it more so than I am, because I'm just stuck there, taking advantage of the sun. But anyways, let's begin. So what topped the news this past week? Well, what topped the news this past week was globally sanctions, and locally gas prices due to the sanctions. Now, for those of you who have been living under a doormat or in a cave, you may not know what's going on in the world, but for those of you who, like me, who are following the news, you know that right now there is a war going on in Europe where Russia is trying to take over Ukraine violently through military action. It didn't matter what negotiations happened, no matter what they said, you can basically, Russia can't be trusted. They keep going back on their word and just continue to bombard Ukraine and the civilians, or the innocent civilians, with just brutal artillery. And to watch the news and to look through the articles is just so heartbreaking. Now, this is not to discount the other parts of what's going on in the other parts of the world, because there's still a lot of wars going on, whether it be civil wars in Africa, whether it be wars in Afghanistan, whether it be religious wars amongst the Middle East. And also there's famine going on in Afghanistan as we speak. We also have a war of words right now between India and Pakistan. So, and then also there's an idiot in North Korea still shooting missiles in the doorstep of Japan. So, it's not that everything else has been solved. No, it's just that Ukraine and Russia, that war has just been prevalent on the news of late. All it takes is another douchebag to hit another button, and then that will be topping the news again. So, interesting enough, COVID is not on the news recently. And it's just these, no one really cares about the updates anymore. Oh, and about COVID. So here's the sanctions. We are experiencing gas prices due to these sanctions. I think some of you already are experiencing the pain of those increasing gas prices. I know that in Burnaby, today it's at $2.10. That's right, $2.10 per liter, which for those Americans who are watching, times that by 4. And then that's what you get for the cost of per gallon. And exactly, owie, right? What else topped the news? Well, there's another douche that's coming up on my slides. And he's coming out right here, right there. So apparently this guy wants to also do another freedom convoy, and to protest against masks and COVID mandates, because he's saying that how come British Columbia is still the province that's left remaining to keep their COVID protocols, which really are very minimal, to say the least. Very minimal COVID protocols. All they want us to do is just wear masks. All they want us to do is just wear masks in the indoor places where you cannot social distance. But this man, who really needs to wear a mask, is he's not as photogenic as I thought, and I don't think he understands that. But wearing masks. So he's completely against wearing masks, and he's trying to gather a rally of cars and trucks to go on the ferry. Yes, go on the ferry. This coming 2 weeks, during spring break, when everybody else is going on the ferry, to go to Victoria, during spring break, when everybody else is going to Victoria for spring break, and protest and try to make people's lives miserable because he just does not, he and a bunch of cronies do not want to wear masks. Now, just personally for you and just to share, I actually like wearing masks in the indoor tight places. I think the masks really help me of not catching a cold or a flu of recently. Yes, granted, I've been inside, but when I go to like public spaces and grocery stores or restaurants, and when I have my mask on, I believe that the reason why I haven't caught any severe or like a flu is because I've been wearing masks. And so I don't know about you, but I'm fine wearing masks actually. I may not be fine wearing masks coaching a basketball team because it's so hard to breathe, and literally at the end of the game you're like eating your mask. But you know what? That's the type of sacrifice I'm willing to take if it keeps everyone safe and myself safe. And so that's what's topping my theme today. It's about sacrifices. Because for the gas prices, we know why the gas prices are going up, and we know that why it is because of all the sanctions. We are no longer taking in any blood oil, as President Joe Biden referred it to, blood money. So, meaning that this type of oil is due to violence and it's associated with violence, and that's why we are not going to take that. And I attached a link at the bottom with the CBC News of the recent ban on Russian oil by the U.S. And that is huge, by the way, because without cheap oil, U.S. has to revert to their reserves and also, of course, fracking. But that's expensive, and so the prices of oil will go up. Right now, the current price of oil is I think it's hovering at $140 a barrel, so that's a lot. It was at a bottom of 89 before. Now it's at 144 for those who are wondering and are not watching the stock market. But because the U.S., a big market by the way, has banned Russian oil, their gas prices are going up. And our gas prices are going up because we do take oil from the States. And so, therefore, there's a sacrifice. There's a pain involved in supporting Ukraine, in being, to solidarity, to have solidarity, to fight for justice, to fight against the evils that Russia is doing onto Ukraine. And so that's sacrifice, right? And that word sacrifice has been going around on the news. We hear Joe Biden say the U.S. peoples and the American people, there's the same. The American peoples need to make sacrifices to fight for the greater good. In Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the same thing. We need to make sacrifices for the greater good. You know, FYI, that's exactly what we said about COVID protocols. That we need to make sacrifices for the greater good, for the love of our neighbors, for the love of people, and that we need to keep people safe. And so this whole idea of sacrifices, it's just been prevalent, that word sacrifices. And for this douche who's trying to lead, not this guy, I love him because he's John Oliver, this guy, he's going to complain about merely wearing masks when the whole world is going in chaos and have better things to worry about. Not willing to make a simple sacrifice of wearing a mask for the love of people and for the safety of others. Is he tone deaf or what? All right, so let's talk about sacrifices. Let's take a look at what this word sacrifice means for a Christian. So let's get to it with my takeaways and my Christian opinion. So my 3 takeaways on sacrifice is this. First of all, I was reflecting on this on myself. And, when I drive my car is old. It's a 2007 530i, which I only paid about $8,000 Canadian for. And hence, that's what I needed a car and I needed a cheap one. But also, $8,000, where do you get that, right? So it does take quite a... It's 2007, right? So those cars back then are not as fuel efficient as it today. And so, when I fill at the pump, it hurts. It really, really hurts. It cost me $80 just to fill up a half a tank. And I go, I don't like that. It's so painful. I hate it. And then I was going, God, why are you smiting me, you almighty smiter? And then God reminded me, actually I reminded myself too, that man, John, you are one spoiled little baby. And so I think I have to remind myself, and I think you have to remind yourselves as well as Christians that, man, living in the Western Hemisphere in Canada, and out of Canada, the best province in the whole universe, which is BC, we are freakishly spoiled. All right? We just have to admit it. We have to be humble enough, take a little slice of humble pie and say that we are spoiled. We have free medical care. We have good benefits. We have sunshine when it needs to be. We have rain then when it needs to be. We have forest everywhere. We have mountains. You could actually ski in the middle of summer over in the mountains. I think, and also we have a transit system that is quite integrated, though there are some improvements. Yes, there needs some improvements. But hey, in general, we have it good here. And so we have to admit that we are spoiled. And that guy who is trying to lead that convoy, come on, man. Take a slice of humble pie and admit to yourself that you are spoiled and entitled. So let's just take for a moment, just convince ourselves and say that we are spoiled. Because to make sacrifices, we have to admit that we are very privileged here. Okay, next. 2, again, I'm going to reiterate from what I said last week. This whole idea of sanctions, this whole idea of making sacrifices for the greater good, it has a lot to do with justice. Social justice, environmental justice, that's what Christians stand for. And we stand up against evil. We promote justice. We are agents of justice. Now, agents of justice meaning that we support those who do the justice, those who are capable of doing justice. And so, therefore, we need to do our part in making sacrifices to love others. And in order to love others, one of those ways is to propagate justice. And we need to be part of that. Because we live in a global economy and everybody's connected now. Every action that we do has some ramification and consequences to other people around the world. And therefore, we need to do our part. Next is, what's love? Tina Turner song. What's love got to do with it? No, that's not right. So we as Christians often sing and often preach and often say to ourselves that in order to love, you need to love like Jesus, which is to sacrifice, make sacrifices. But then if we do not, what does that tell the world about Christians? Simple. One word. Hypocrite. We are hypocrites. And we have to remind ourselves that God has warned many times throughout the Bible of hypocrisy. And here's one passage that I found that was suitable for my sermon that I was preparing for this past week on John 9. You could go, I haven't posted it yet, but you will see that sermon soon. There's one passage in Isaiah that I really find challenging for not just myself. No, it is for myself. But it really challenges what I really truly believe in. Here, let me read it. It's found in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 13. Yeah, right in the first chapter. Bring no more vain offerings. Incense is an abomination to me. Now, this is God talking to his people, the Israelites. Bring no more vain offering. Incense is an abomination to me. New moon and Sabbath, and the calling of convocations. I cannot endure iniquity and solemn assembly anymore. Your new moons and your appointed feasts my soul hates. They have become a burden to me. I am weary of bearing them. When you spread out your hands and sing songs, I will hide my eyes from you. Even though you make many prayers, I will not listen. Your hands are full of blood. Wash yourselves. Make yourselves clean. Remove the evil of your deeds from before my eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do good. Seek justice. Correct oppression. Bring justice to the fatherless. Plead the widow's case or cause. This passage is basically in the context of God rebuking Israel for their hypocrisy. That they are more concerned of doing religious stuff, right, doing the religious rituals, than addressing their own evil, their own sin, their own neglect of their widows and the poor, and their neglect of not caring for others. Rather, they would rather be in Bible studies, just reading lots of Bible, doing some theological treatises and debates, sing songs, and just do the whole dealio of Sunday worship, and just lift up their hands and pray and do whatever they want without addressing themselves, their actions, their evil, their sin, and also without caring for others. And I think that if we cannot make these simple sacrifices for the sake of justice, if we cannot make a simple sacrifices to love other people, we are exactly in the same boat as these Israelites who God was rebuking. We cannot say that we're Christian when we have no concern of the poor, the widows, the fatherless. We cannot say that we are Christian when we don't care about the things that are happening in this world. And we can definitely not say that we're Christian when we can't even put on a freaking mask just for the sake of loving others and to keep each other safe. We can't. We just can't. It's just hypocrisy. And when God says that when God sees this, remember what he said to the Israelites when they were hypocrites. Right here, that regardless how many times you attend Sunday school, regardless how many times you attend Bible studies, regardless of how many times you devote yourself to Sunday services and Sunday worship, regardless of how much tithing you do, if you and I cannot address our sin and love others, we're hypocrites. And he hates hypocrites, as you can see there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching another IMCO. My name is Jonathn. Have a blessed week. And by the way, I'll be away for the next 2 weeks. So let's come back together again in April. Till next time. Bye now.